So your concern is how it affects humanity in a sense.
Humanity, and particularly in a way, people don't want to grow older. But it's kind of good to be a bit older at this stage because we've tried to learn the hard way how to understand stuff, how to figure stuff out. Maybe this was writing, maybe it was, some job you had to do. Whereas the knowledge that we may have learnt, now it can be presented to us very quickly. Could on the internet, these are much better. These are getting much, much cleverer at giving us what looks like a good answer. But people are relying on it so much, and they're using it like Google, and it's embedded in all the chat services as well. Instagram, or not Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, it's automatically in there straight away. Do you want me to make this better? Do you want me to help with that? And it's actually, I'm very concerned about people's cognitive processes and how they think because of this. As an academic and as a lecturer, I have students for whom English is a second language, right? And they're writing as well as any student I've ever seen. That shouldn't be the case.
And why is that?
Because they're taking what they want and they're running it through these things. And if they're clever, they're washing it again and again and again. And it's very hard for us to prove. So, an assessment, it's a big challenge. It's a challenge for everyone. And actually, exams have value because you have to go in and write it down. But I've changed a lot what I'm doing. I'm getting them to speak a lot. I'm getting them to talk and verbally explain to me. Because I don't want to read 5,000 words that are written by an AI. And people will find this, and they find this more and more in work. If I'm giving you something to do that you to give me a report back, if it looks like it's written by an AI, I don't want to read it.
Can you automatically tell if students are using ChatGPT or any form of AI?
It depends how clever they are. And most of them, they just want it done. You remember doing some kind of assignment or some homework years ago, and you just wanted anything to make it go away, and you knew you wasn't going to go well, and if this magic thing had come down and said, "I'll make it better,"
Yeah.
it's very hard not to take it.
Yeah.
And
Last minute too.
last minute, that's the thing, because we don't want to do. Going into our hard and really thinking about things is hard. It gives us thinking, oh, I don't want to think about it. It's too difficult. People are busy and have lives. There's many reasons for it to be like that. But I was doing something one night. I can't remember what I had to do, but I'd something I knew was going to take me another couple of hours to type up and to create and type up. This is about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to go to bed, and I was tired. And I said, I'll try it with this. What I produced was amazing. And I produced something that looked at least like what I would have done in the next 2 hours. But the key is, I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew what the final version should look like. People are getting it to create stuff, and they don't know what the right version should look like. And if this makes a mistake, that's a big problem. So if I'm trying to secure my computer, and I ask it how to do it, and it gives me all these settings, but it leaves out something obvious that maybe a security person would know, that could be a big problem. And if it's just your own personal computer, it's one thing. What if it's a major system for something, or a hospital, or something that could be hacked? There can be a lot of holes, and people are relying on it all the time. Straight away, huge case did you see recently with Deloitte in Australia? Deloitte's a huge company, do a lot of consultancy, and they were caught. The Australian government paid them $500,000 to write a report, and they got ChatGPT or to write it or write aspects of it, and it was full of holes, and it was full of made-up references and things like that. And this notion's about productivity. Productivity is good, and it is increasing a lot, but there's a lot of um, people, and I talk to a lot of people in the industry, and at the top level, they're very wary of letting it do too much because they've seen the mistakes and they know how costly these mistakes can still be.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't always give the right answer.
Definitely not.
Like I do use it, and I'm like, okay, that I can tell if something's not right. A lot of the time I'll use it because it'll save me time. I can ask, but I kind of know the answer if some in some form of way. But I do know that using that more takes away our own cognitive ability.
Yeah,
You know?
to think, to work something out. Like anything that you know how to do well, I don't know, playing chess. I can't play chess, right? If I asked it, it would make me look like I was really good at chess, show what it's done, because it has learned from millions of games, and a long time ago, the computer beat the best chess people in the world. But things that we would have learned the long way and would have taken time, people aren't going to do that as much because they maybe have no need, and some have no needs, okay. But it's when something goes wrong and when it makes a mistake, and they do. These are what we call black boxes, okay? they're so complex. The numbers of different bits of information going into them, the number of what we call parameters of different things that can change, these are in the billions. And if we asked it to do something to pick between us two who was the best for the job, and it picked you and not me, we've no idea why it did that. We have no idea. It like went into this magic box and came out and go, Ryan's the winner. Why? Now the European Union, in fairness to them, are actually quite good at this. GDPR, General Data Protection Regulations, one of the articles in this, there's 99 articles, a lot of them are to do with privacy, and it's something I teach as well. But one of the articles, I think it's Article 22, is to do with automated decision making and profiling. And it says any decision made on a citizen or anyone residing in the European Union has to be explainable. Can't be automated. There's a new AI Act, and it's got different categories of things that you can use AI for, and you can't. And in fairness to the European Union, they're not perfect, but they try. A lot of the other ones aren't trying the same way. They're afraid it'll stifle competition. A lot of concerns that they have. And even with this AA Act, there was a lot of difficulty getting it through because people in the European Union or member states said it's going to disadvantage AI companies from France or Italy or whatever. And it probably will. But we need some kind of guardrails in this stuff. And personally, looking at people's development and younger people's development, I'm concerned that a lot of the things, maybe I'm a bit too old already, but things that you think they should need to learn the proper way, they won't learn. They won't learn. Why would you learn? Well, somebody else will do it for you. It's like someone, if you were brought up and you never did anything for yourself, you don't know how to do these things. And it's the same type of thing, but once you go out there, or what happens if it's switched off? Like the example in Spain and all the power went. What happens when people don't have it anymore? And will they still be able to do even basic things? And also, one of the reasons with education and school right the way through, there's a whole process. And one of the things you're trying to get is people who are come out the other end have some form of education and some ability to think, to assimilate information, to evaluate what's right or wrong. And a big aspect of that, which we work right the way through, is this critical thinking notion. And it's actually, I'm very concerned about people's cognitive processes and how they think because of this.